10 rock songs from the 1980s that radio stations flat out refused to play. You know the decade. Big hair, bigger amps, and suddenly 4 wives in Washington deciding which records belonged in your house. Some of these tracks got pulled mid-rotation. Some never made it to air in the first place, and one of them turned a BBC band into the longest-running #1 hit since 1967. If you thought the 80s were all synthesizers and MTV, you're about to hear what the programmers were scrambling to keep off the airwaves and why some of those bands made the songs bigger than anyone imagined. Number 10, Cyndi Lauper, She Bop, 1984. Here's what most people remember. The video, the colors, Cyndi bouncing around like she just walked out of a cartoon. Harmless, right? That's what radio programmers thought too, until someone actually listened to the lyrics. She Bop hit shelves in the summer of 1984, climbed to number 3 on the Hot 100. By the time parents started asking questions, their kids already had the single. And here's the thing Cyndi wasn't hiding. She just wasn't announcing it either. The song is about masturbation, not metaphorically, directly. Lines about going south, warnings about going blind, references that anyone paying attention would catch immediately. Radio stations didn't pull it at first. The melody was too catchy, the production too polished, but then Tipper Gore's Parents Music Resource Center started compiling their list. You know the one, the Filthy 15, songs they wanted labeled, restricted, kept away from kids. She Bop made the cut. And that's where it gets interesting, because Lauper doubled down, argued the song was following a tradition. Bessie Smith had been doing this 60 years earlier, just with different language. Said it was about self-empowerment, not shame. And if you've ever tried to explain why a song about self-pleasure is actually liberating to a committee of senators' wives, you know how that conversation goes. Some stations added it to their restricted list, Bible Belt markets especially. But the song kept climbing anyway, because here's what the censors never understand. Telling someone they can't have something just makes them want it more. By 1985, the PMRC hearings were national news. She Bop was evidence, proof that pop music had gone too far. And Cyndi Lauper, she collected her royalties and kept making exactly the music she wanted to make. It peaked at number 3, stayed on the charts for months, and today it's just another 80s staple, playing in grocery stores where nobody thinks twice about the lyrics. That's the thing about bands. They fade. The music doesn't. Number 9. Sheena Easton, Sugar Walls, 1984. Sheena Easton had the wholesome thing locked down. Morning Train, For Your Eyes Only. She was safe, the kind of artist your parents approved of. And then Prince handed her a song. He didn't put his name on it, used a pseudonym, Alexander Nevermind. But anyone who knew Prince's work could hear his fingerprints all over Sugar Walls. The production, the groove, the innuendo so thick you could cut it with a knife. The title alone should have been a red flag, but it wasn't until the PMRC started dissecting lyrics that radio stations realized what they'd been playing. And by then, it was too late. The song was already a hit. Here's what made it controversial. Prince wasn't being subtle. The sugar walls referenced in the chorus aren't architectural, they're anatomical. The whole song is an extended sexual metaphor, dressed up in enough funk that it slid past program directors who weren't paying close attention. Tipper Gore was paying attention. added it to the Filthy 15, pointed to it during Senate hearings as proof that explicit content was infiltrating mainstream radio under the guise of pop music. She wasn't wrong. Easton found herself defending a song she didn't write, tried to play it off as romantic, not graphic, but the damage was done. Conservative stations pulled it. Some markets banned it outright. And Sheena Easton, who'd built a career on being America's sweetheart, suddenly had a target on her back. The irony? It became her biggest hit in years, peaked at number 9 on the Hot 100, stayed in the top 40 for months, because once people knew it was banned, they wanted to hear what the fuss was about. Prince never publicly commented, just kept writing songs that pushed every boundary he could find. And Sheena Easton, she eventually distanced herself from it, stopped performing it, moved on to safer material. But Sugar Walls is still there, still in her discography, still proof that sometimes the most controversial thing you can do is exactly what someone tells you not to.
Let's look at the numbers. Only 9% of you are actually subscribed. Honestly, that's tough to see. Our team spends days hunting down archives and verifying every single fact just to tell these stories right. If you've made it this far into the video, you're clearly part of the community, so please hit subscribe. It costs nothing and helps us immensely. Now, for those already subscribed, very few of you have made the jump to our membership, and that's a hard pill to swallow because you're the ones who know our value best. If this channel has moved you or inspired you, consider joining. It's the price of one coffee, but it's the literal fuel for this channel. Let's keep this alive together. Back to the story.
Number 8, Twisted Sister, We're Not Gonna Take It, of 1984. You've seen the video. Kid blasting the song in his bedroom. Dad bursts in, gets sent flying out the window. Slapstick violence set to a glam metal anthem about rebellion. MTV ate it up. Kids everywhere turned it into a battle cry. The Parents Music Resource Center saw something different. Violence, aggression, a song teaching children to fight back against authority, and they added it to the Filthy 15. Here's what makes this one strange. There's no profanity, no sex, no drugs. The lyrics are about standing up for yourself, refusing to be pushed around. On paper, it is motivational. But in 1985, when Tipper Gore's committee was looking for evidence that rock music was corrupting America's youth, We're Not Gonna Take It became Exhibit A for violent content. Dee Snider, Twisted Sister's frontman, got called to testify before the Senate. Showed up looking exactly like you'd expect. Long hair, makeup, the full glam metal package. And then he opened his mouth and destroyed every assumption in the room. Testified articulately. Defended the song as empowerment, not violence. Pointed out that the video was comedy, not instruction. Made senators look foolish for confusing a 3-minute rock song with actual danger. It was masterclass testimony. C-SPAN footage you can still watch today. But the damage was done. The song was labeled. Radio stations in conservative markets started pulling it. Some outright banned it. And here's the twist. Sales went through the roof. The song hit number 21 on the Hot 100. Not massive by pop standards, but huge for a metal band that looked like they'd walked off a Sunset Strip stage. And the controversy turned Twisted Sister into household names. Everyone wanted to see the band that scared senators. Snyder later said the PMRC was the best marketing campaign Twisted Sister never paid for. The more they tried to silence the song, the louder it got. And if you were a teenager in 1984 watching your parents freak out about a song, you already know which side you picked. Number 7, Madonna, Like a Virgin, 1984. Madonna wasn't famous yet. Not like she would be. She had some dance hits, some club success, but Like a Virgin was the moment everything changed, and some radio stations wanted nothing to do with it. The song dropped in November 1984. Written by Billy Steinberg and Tom Kelly, produced by Nile Rodgers, sung by a 26-year-old from Michigan who understood exactly what buttons to push. The title alone was provocative. The lyrics, about feeling reborn through physical touch, didn't leave much to interpretation. Conservative markets balked immediately. Parts of Utah banned it. Program directors in Bible Belt stations declared it too suggestive for airplay. One station manager in Provo told reporters the lyrics caused uncomfortableness among listeners. Said they couldn't afford to play it during a ratings book, but MTV played the video, and that's where the real controversy started. You probably know the performance. 1984 MTV Video Music Awards. Madonna emerging from a wedding cake in a white gown, singing Like a Virgin to 5,000 people at Radio City Music Hall. Then her shoe came off. She went with it, rolled on the floor, gyrated in ways that left zero doubt what she was simulating. The camera zoomed in, MTV let it air, and the next morning, music industry veterans were convinced Madonna's career was over, that she'd gone too far, that the provocative wedding dress performance was career suicide. They were wrong. Like a Virgin hit number one, stayed there for 6 weeks. The album sold over 10 million copies in the US alone, and Madonna went from club artist to global phenomenon practically overnight. Some stations still refused to play it. Religious groups protested. The PMRC added Dress You Up from the same album to the Filthy 15, citing sexual content. Didn't matter. The controversy made Madonna bigger. Every ban was free publicity. Every pulled record was proof she was doing something right. And here's what the censors missed. Madonna wasn't shocking for shock's sake. She was reclaiming sexuality, taking control of imagery that had always been dictated by someone else. The wedding dress wasn't about purity, it was about subverting purity. And millions of people got it. Decades later, Like a Virgin is a karaoke staple. The shock has faded, but in 1984, radio stations were pulling it mid-rotation, and Madonna was laughing all the way to number one. Number 6, W.A.S.P, Animal, F Like a Beast, 1984. You know the full title? Radio stations sure did. Some songs get banned for subtext, for lyrics that could be interpreted multiple ways. This isn't one of those songs. W.A.S.P's Animal, Fast Like a Beast, wasn't hiding anything. The title said it all, and radio programmers took one look and said absolutely not. Blackie Lawless, W.A.S.P's lead singer, claimed he wrote it after seeing a photo of lions mating in National Geographic. Whether that's true or just a story he told to mess with people, the result was the same. A shock rock anthem so explicit it couldn't be played on any mainstream station in America. The PMRC loved it. Not the song, the controversy. Added it to the Filthy 15 immediately, used it as evidence that rock music had crossed into territory parents needed to control. Tipper Gore held it up during Senate hearings, proof positive that the industry had lost its way. A.S.P. leaned into it, started introducing the song at concerts with "This One's for Tipper Gore," printed the lyrics on the album sleeve in the most graphic language possible, made sure nobody could miss the point. This was provocation as performance art. And here's the thing, it worked. The band used to introduce performances with dedications to the PMRC. The band became the story, and kids who'd never heard of W.A.S.P. suddenly wanted to know what all the fuss was about. The song never got a mainstream airplay. Couldn't. The title alone violated FCC standards. Some record stores wouldn't stock it. Others kept it behind the counter, only selling to adults. It became the forbidden fruit of 80s metal. But underground rock stations played it, college radio embraced it, and W.A.S.P. built a career on being the band too dangerous for radio. The controversy turned them into legends in the shock rock scene. Blackie Lawless later became a born-again Christian, stopped performing the song, walked away from the image he'd built. But Animal is still out there. Still the song that made the PMRC lose their minds. Still proof that sometimes radio bans have nothing to do with protecting anyone. They're just admissions that some art makes people too uncomfortable to ignore. Number 5, AC/DC, Let Me Put My Love Into You, 1980/targeted 1985. From the album Back in Black, 1980. Wait, 1980? On a list about 80s bands? Stay with me. The song came out in 1980. Nobody blinked. It was AC/DC doing what AC/DC does. Bluesy hard rock with lyrics that walked right up to the line without quite crossing it. Let me cut your cake with my knife. Suggestive. Sure. But rock and roll had been suggestive since Chuck Berry. Then 1985 happened. The PMRC formed, started digging through catalogs looking for evidence. And they found Let Me Put My Love Into You. It's a 5-year-old album track that suddenly became proof AC/DC was corrupting America's youth. Added it to the Filthy 15, cited the cake and knife lyric as profane, sexual, inappropriate for minors. Never mind that the album had already sold millions. Never mind that the song wasn't even a single. The PMRC needed metal on their list, and AC/DC fit the bill. The band's response called it satanic intolerance, argued that people hearing sexual content were bringing their own interpretations, that the PMRC was seeing what they wanted to see, and kept selling records by the truckload. Here's the irony. Back in Black was already one of the biggest selling albums in history before the PMRC ever mentioned it. The controversy didn't hurt sales. It reminded people the album existed. Sent it climbing back up the charts 5 years after release. Some stations quietly stopped playing album tracks. Conservative markets avoided anything from the album entirely. But You Shook Me All Night Long and Back in Black, bigger hits from the same record, kept getting airtime because banning AC/DC completely would have left massive holes in rock rotations. In AC/DC, they shrugged, kept touring, kept recording, didn't change a single lyric, didn't apologize. Just let the controversy blow over while their album kept selling. Bon Scott, who sang on earlier AC/DC records, had died in February 1980, just months before Back in Black came out. Brian Johnson stepped in. The album became a tribute and a commercial juggernaut. The PMRC targeting it 5 years later felt like an afterthought, a footnote to a legacy already cemented. But it's still on the Filthy 15, still cited as evidence of rock's moral decline, still proof that sometimes censors are just 5 years late to the party. Number 4, Judas Priest, Eat Me Alive, 1984. Rob Halford's vocals on this track sound like a chainsaw cutting through steel. The guitar work is aggressive, relentless, Exactly what you'd expect from Judas Priest at their peak. And the lyrics are about rough, violent, explicitly sexual imagery that made the PMRC lose their minds. Keep Me Alive appeared on the album Defenders of the Faith, heavy metal at its most unapologetic. The PMRC added it to the Filthy 15 under sex, but really it was the violence mixed with the sexuality that triggered alarms. References to being bound, to force, to domination, not subtle, not metaphorical. Tipper Gore's committee held it up as evidence that metal had crossed from rebellious to dangerous, that the imagery was teaching young listeners disturbing things about sex and power. Radio stations agreed. Most refused to play it. Some wouldn't touch anything from the album. Judas Priest didn't back down. Rob Halford, though he wasn't publicly out at the time, defended the song as fantasy, not instruction, pointed out that metal had always dealt in dark imagery, that horror movies did the same thing and nobody was trying to ban Stephen King. But the controversy stuck, and it wasn't the last time Judas Priest would face accusations. In 1990, a lawsuit claimed their music contained subliminal messages that drove two teenagers to a suicide pact. The case was thrown out. The judge ruled the music wasn't responsible, but the shadow of that PMRC moment in 1985 hung over everything. Eat Me Alive never got mainstream airplay. College stations and underground rock shows played it, but top 40, album-oriented rock stations, most pass it. The song was too explicit, the imagery too violent. And here's the painful irony. Rob Halford, openly gay since 1998, was singing lyrics about aggressive heterosexual encounters while hiding his own identity. The PMRC was worried about corrupting youth with sexual content, but they missed the real story. A man performing a version of sexuality that wasn't his in an industry that wouldn't have accepted him if he'd told the truth. The song lives on in Judas Priest's catalog, still played at concerts, still unapologetically brutal, and still proof that sometimes what offends people most is just honesty without a filter. Number 3, George Michael, I Want Your Sex, 1987. George Michael was supposed to be safe. Wham! Had made him a global pop star. Clean cut, charming, the kind of artist parents didn't worry about. Then he went solo and released a song called I Want Your Sex, and suddenly nobody knew what to do with him. The song dropped in May 1987, right in the middle of the AIDS crisis. Public health campaigns everywhere were emphasizing abstinence, safe sex, fear. And here comes George Michael with a funk track explicitly about wanting physical intimacy. The title alone made program directors nervous. The BBC banned it from daytime radio immediately. Restricted airplay to after 9 p.m., too explicit, too dangerous, too likely to promote promiscuity. At exactly the wrong moment in history, George Michael fired back. Did interviews explaining the song wasn't about casual sex, it was about monogamy, about attaching lust to love, not to strangers. He even wrote "Explore Monogamy" on his girlfriend in the video, made the message explicit. This wasn't promoting recklessness, it was promoting commitment. Didn't matter. U.S. stations refused to play it. Some edited the title, replacing sex with love. Columbia Records distributed those edits hoping stations would bite. Most still passed. And then something interesting happened. MTV aired the video, not the full version, an edited cut that toned down the most provocative shots, but enough that people saw it, wanted it, rushed out to buy the single. The song hit number 2 in the US, number 3 in the UK. Massive commercial success despite radio treating it like radioactive material. George Michael had proven you didn't need airplay if you had controversy and MTV. But there's a deeper story here. George Michael wasn't out yet. Wouldn't publicly come out until 1998. So here he was, a gay man promoting monogamy during the AIDS crisis, performing heterosexual desire while hiding his own identity. The irony is painful. He was advocating for exactly the kind of committed relationships that could have saved lives in the gay community, but he couldn't say that part out loud. The BBC lifted the ban eventually. The song became a staple, but in 1987 it was forbidden territory, proof that even talking about sex, even responsibly, was too much for radio to handle. George Michael later walked away from the song, stopped performing it, rarely acknowledged it. Whether that was about the controversy or his own complicated relationship with sexuality, we'll never fully know. But I Want Your Sex is still there. Still a snapshot of a moment when fear overrode reason, and still proof that sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do is tell the truth about desire. Number 2, Mötley Crüe, Bastard, 1983. From the album Shout at the Devil, 1983. The song is exactly what the title suggests. Violent, aggressive, lyrics about stabbing someone to death, delivered with Mötley Crüe's trademark excess. It wasn't a single, wasn't meant for radio. But when the PMRC came looking for evidence in 1985, Bastard was right there waiting. Added to the Filthy 15 under Violence, used as proof that metal was teaching kids to hurt people. Tipper Gore held it up during Senate hearings, said this was the kind of content parents needed warning labels to avoid. Mötley Crüe's response: Vince Neil told reporters the warning sticker made the album sell even more. Once you put that parental warning sticker on, that album took off. Those kids wanted it even more. He wasn't wrong. Shout at the Devil had already gone platinum, but after the PMRC controversy, it went double platinum. The sticker became a badge of honor, proof the album was dangerous enough to scare adults. Radio never played Bastard? Couldn't. The title alone violated standards. The lyrics were non-negotiable, but MTV played videos from the album. Stations spun Shout at the Devil and Looks That Kill, and kids bought the full record to hear what else was on there. Here's what made it stick. Mötley Crüe didn't apologize, didn't soften. Bassist Nikki Sixx told Rolling Stone he wasn't a parent, didn't want to tell kids what to do, said their concerts were therapy. Kids came to get aggression out, that the hour and a half belonged to them. Nobody could take it away. That attitude, complete defiance, turned Mötley Crüe into icons of 80s excess. The more people tried to control them, the bigger they got. The more parents worried, the more kids showed up. Tipper Gore reportedly praised their Smoking in the Boys' Room video later, said it showed their bad boy image without going too far. The irony of praising one song while condemning another from the same band wasn't lost on anyone. Bastard lives on as a deep album cut. Not a hit, not famous, but legendary among people who were there, who bought Shout at the Devil because their parents said not to, who cranked it in basements and garages and cars with broken mufflers. And if you've ever watched something you loved get attacked by people who didn't understand it, you know exactly why Mötley Crüe's response was to turn it up louder. Number 1, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Relax, 1983/1984. The most famous band of the decade, maybe ever. The The song came out in November 1983, a debut single from a Liverpool band nobody had heard of. Producer Trevor Horn spent £70,000 getting it right. Holly Johnson was the only band member who actually appeared on the final recording. The others were away when the version finally clicked. It climbed slowly. Then in January 1984, Frankie Goes to Hollywood performed on Top of the Pops. The song jumped from number 35 to number 6 overnight. And that's when BBC Radio 1 DJ Mike Reed lost it. January 11, 1984. Reed pulled the record mid-show, announced on air he found it obscene, refused to play it again. The BBC followed his lead, banned Relax completely. Radio, television, everything. The problem? The lyrics. Relax, don't do it. When you want to suck to it, and when you want to come. Not subtle, not coded. A song about holding back orgasm until the last possible moment. Sexual content so direct the BBC couldn't pretend they hadn't noticed. Holly Johnson pushed back. Said only someone with the mind of a sewer could find the lyrics obscene, but the band stuck. And here's what nobody expected. It made the song massive. By January 24th, Relax hit number 1. Knocked Paul McCartney's Pipes of Peace out of the top spot. Stayed there for 5 weeks. The BBC displayed a still photo during Top of the Pops announcements, refusing to show the band. Commercial radio and TV kept playing it anyway. The song stayed in the top 75 for 48 consecutive weeks. Sold 2 million copies in the UK alone. Became the 6th biggest selling UK single of all time, all while banned from the BBC. Frankie Says Relax. T-shirts sold by the lorry load. The band followed with Two Tribes and The Power of Love, both hit number 1. Made them only the second act in history to score 3 consecutive number 1 singles with their first 3 releases. The band became an embarrassment for the BBC. By Christmas 1984, they lifted it. Relax appeared on the holiday Top of the Pops special like nothing had happened. But the moment was already cemented. Radio censorship backfiring so spectacularly, it made the censors look ridiculous. A gay band from Liverpool turning sexual liberation into a global phenomenon. A debut single becoming legendary because someone tried to silence it. Holly Johnson later said they never wanted the ban, thought it could have killed their career, but it did the opposite. Turned them into the most talked about band in Britain. Made Relax a cultural moment. And here's the lesson every band on this list learned. Sometimes the worst thing that can happen to you is also the best. Sometimes being told no is exactly how you find out who you really are. Relax isn't just a song. It's proof that censorship is just free advertising for anyone brave enough to write it out.